Welcome back, foodies, to Matthew's Culinary Corner. Today we are going to be very adventuresome because today we're going to make Danish pastries. Well, in fact, today we're going to make the pastry, puff pastry, for Danish pastries. So that means once we've done this, we can make croissants, we can make Danish pastries, the world's your oyster. We can do bacon and cheese croissants. Let's just see how we go. Let's make the pastry first, okay? So, pretty simple. I say that, but I have done it a few times. So we've got 500 grams of strong bread flour. We've got 10 grams of salt, 10 grams of yeast, 80 grams of castor sugar, and 300 mils of cold water. We've also got 300 grams of butter. And that butter I have in the fridge, and that's what's going to laminate the flour. So the first thing we do is we bring this part together, we create the dough, and then we put the butter inside, fold it, laminate it, put it back and forth into the fridge, and you'll see that process. It takes a while, so I suggest you give this one some time, so maybe on a day that you're not very busy, because once you've done it, you can leave it in the fridge. You can even freeze it, and then you can pull out the dough and make whatever you want. Okay? Let's give it a go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to tip the flour into the mixing bowl. We're going to add our sugar and our salt to one side, and then we're going to add the yeast on the other side. Because the minute you put yeast and salt together, that's the minute that the yeast actually dies. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add our water once we've started the machine, and we might not need it all. Let's see, we just want to get the dough into a nice, fairly stiff dough. So we're going to put it on low and slow for about 2 minutes, and then we'll ramp it up to medium for about 6 minutes. See how we go. Okay, now just going to gently knead it. Now if you didn't have a KitchenAid, and not everyone does, you can do the same thing with the same mix, but just you need to learn obviously how to knead dough, and I would say you do that for about 10 minutes, okay? So I'm just bringing it together, gonna put it into a ball. As I said, it's quite stiff. Nice, perfect. Dust it gently, or light. Dust it gently. Dust it lightly. Then I'm gonna just put it into a nice clean bag, and then that's gonna go into the fridge for an hour. And then we get on to the laminating. And laminating is basically layers of butter within the dough, and we add and fold, add and fold. Okay, into the fridge. Now that we've got our dough in the fridge, we're going to prepare our butter. So we're going to take the butter, we're going to put it between 2 sheets of baking paper, we're going to bash it, and then we're going to put that in the fridge. It's going to make it easier to put on the dough. So it's going to get loud. Okay, let's get loud. So what I like to do is cut it into halves, and then layer it, and then beat it. Now that we're beaten that much, we're gonna roll it out. So the idea of rolling it out is so that it will fit nicely onto the pastry, and then we just roll the pastry on top. Great. So I just spread out the butter a little bit. Again, looking about 40 by 20, 19. And when we put that in the fridge, it's going to harden up and be easy to put on to the dough. And for our lamination. So we'll put that in the fridge. Of course, there's many ways of doing that. You can put the dough down and then you can just get some butter and spread it over. Depends on what you want to do. The thing about butter is it melts very quickly, so you want to work with it very quickly. So if you put it in the freezer, give it sort of a solid base, I think you'll find it's much easier. But you know, you tell me. Your comments in the comment section. So the dough's nice and relaxed, and just flour it, and then we're going to roll it out. It's about 60 centimeters by 20. So now our butter, which is pretty solid, is ready to go on. Okay, so we just want to trim up because we don't want all the butter at the edge. That's pretty good. Already the butter is starting to get soft. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to bring the top third across, and then I'm going to just slightly cut the butter there and put this up here and bring the bottom third up, and then we're going to bring the edges together because we don't want the butter to leak out. Lovely. We put it back into the same bag, and that's our first part of laminating the dough. Okay, so that's we've got 3 layers there. So we're going to do it 3 more times, and that's going to give us 12. Back to the fridge. So this is going to be the first of 3. I'm going to do this 3 times. So this is the first time, okay, the first turn. We put the short end towards you, get your rolling pin, and roll it out to the same as before. So that was, what did we say, sort of like 60 by 20. I just find this cloth helps, it doesn't stick to the pastry, to the dough. Okay, that's right. And yep. So now what we're going to do, we're going to bring this part forward 2/3, go on that side, and then bring this part over. Or bring this part up, this part over. That's what we're going to do. Seal it. Lovely. Back in the fridge. 2 more times. Bring out our dough. It's getting late in the day here. Okay, flour the top.
bring the short end to you, and away we go. I noticed when I was looking at the video that I'm actually using a lot of energy, which is not a bad thing, and that's because the butter's cold and pastry or dough, should we say, is quite thick and there we go, quite strong. So it gets quicker each time, and one more time. Because the next time we do this, we're just going to put it in the fridge overnight. And that will be our puff pastry. Now I can actually see the butter throughout the dough now. And every time we do this, we're making 3 layers. So we're actually going to make 12? Okay, so again, go up from the bottom, halfway, and then flip to the top. Crimp it, just make sure there's no butter showing. Back into the fridge for another hour. Now I have seen it done where we only use like half an hour. And you know, that works. It's really about having the butter nice and cool and easy to actually roll out. Okay. Okay, welcome back. It's the next morning, so let's check out the pastry. Yes. Okay, so what we're looking for is just risen a little bit in the fridge overnight. Yeah, that's great. So that's our pastry, that's our puff pastry. Now what you can do is you can cut it in half, you can put it into half in the freezer, you can use it now, and perfect. So we can make some Danish pastries and some croissants. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and the like button, and you'll always be informed as to when the next video is coming out. And I enjoyed this because I know what we can do with it. Okay, great.